So for the past 25 years, I've been asking myself a single question. And that question is, what does it mean to be a man? Well, for a long time, I thought that being a man meant that I would have the house, the wife, the 2.5 kids, the 401k, and all of that, and I would be successful, and therefore I would be a man. And it wasn't until I accomplished those things and then lost those things that I realized that it had absolutely nothing to do with being a man. And so I have done extensive research and actually written several books and host a radio show in an attempt to answer that question. And I have come to the conclusion that being a man is, in a lot of ways, just a subjective belief system that we create in our minds. That to be a man is based on what you believe a man is supposed to be. And so I've created a definition for what it means to be a man. And again, this is just Michael Taylor's definition. And to me, a man is a person of the male gender who knows who he is, and he lives a life of faith, integrity, accountability, and responsibility. That to me is a man. I'll say it again. A man is a person of the male gender who knows who he is, and he lives a life of faith, accountability, integrity, and responsibility. And so, once again, that is just Michael Taylor's definition. That is not an objective definition. And so what I've come to know is that as men, we have to define what it means to be us individually. It's not something that you're going to find in a textbook or through any type of political organization. It is something that we have to be willing to look within our own minds and hearts to decide what that means. And so I believe that a lot of men are trapped in what I'll call an antiquated paradigm of masculinity, which means our culture has shaped our beliefs and challenged us to accept some things that may not be true. And so in some of the other videos that you'll be seeing, I talk about the 5 illusions of manhood, which once again are illusions that the media has created that we get trapped in. I also talk about the 5 masks of masculinity, which once again are generated by our cultures and our families and the media. And so a man must be willing to ask himself some deeper questions to define what that really means, because there is no objective definition. But here's what I know. As men, we want the same thing that women want, or any human being wants. We want to be loved. We want to feel like our lives matter in some way. We want to feel like we've made contributions to our families. We want to feel appreciated. And we want to make sure that we are acknowledged for who we are. And those are human things, not just things for men. But once again, the problem I think that most of us as men have is we're so conditioned to believe that men are supposed to do a certain thing or be a certain way. And yet we haven't concluded what being a man means to us. And so I think that's the first order of business for you as you're watching this video. What does being a man mean to you? How do you know when you're being a good man? What does that take? How would you describe what a man is supposed to do and to be? These are really tough questions. Once again, with no objective answers, but I think as men, if we really stop and think about it, we'll come to the conclusion that the societal definition of masculinity no longer works. Because society has taught us as men that we had two primary responsibilities: to provide and to protect. The problem is, society never taught us as men how to connect. And I believe that's what men really want. They want to feel connected. They want to connect. They want to connect to themselves. They want to connect to others. But we live in a culture that doesn't provide us with the tools to do that. And that's one of the reasons I put together this resource. I want to challenge you to come to your own conclusions about what it means to be a man. And I want you to learn to be authentically happy with who you are as a man. And guess what? You get to define what that is. But here's what I know with absolute certainty. When we take on the challenge of discovering who and what we are as men, and we do our emotional and psychological and spiritual healing work, we can get to a place where we are authentically happy with who we are. And we are no longer influenced by external things like the media and society. We can get to a place of authenticity within ourselves where we're just comfortable in our own skin. And ultimately, I think that's our goal. To be completely comfortable and confident and authentic in our own skin. So I want you to think about that. What does it mean to be a man? And come to your own conclusions and get to a place where you can honestly say to yourself, I know who I am as a man, and I'm happy with that man. Think about it.